Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog where I'm gonna be continuing and finishing book series. So I've been doing these videos for a while because I really need to get down the number of series that I am in the middle of because I don't know the exact number, but it's around like 2019, something like that. And I definitely need to decrease that number of series because that is crazy, especially because I'm always starting a new series, which doesn't help. And I usually read 4 books for these videos, and in this one, I also do read 4 books, and I make progress in 2 series and finish another series. And you have like fantasy and mystery, and this is spoiler free. I just give the synopsis of either the book or the series, depending on what kind of series it is, but I don't go into spoilers. And yeah, having said that, let's just get into the video. Okay, so I am halfway, actually 58%, so more than halfway through our first book for this video, which is The Last Oracle, which is book, I think, 5 in the Sigma Force series, which is like a thriller, sort of mystery, and then there's either like sci-fi or fantasy elements in different books, and we follow like members of the Sigma Force team, and they are always like trying to figure out some mysteries and trying to like save the world. And in this case, it's no different, and like there is a lot going on in this book, and I know they're all gonna connect, and I mean they're already like starting to connect all of the different moving parts, but like there is a lot going on. And so, like, with one of the members of our team, he's like walking down in the street, and then like a guy comes to talk to him, and then that guy is attacked, and he actually gives like the member of the Sigma Force a coin, I think, which is like an ancient artifact that has something to do with the Oracle of Delphi. Actually, I have no idea. And I did listen to the audiobook, so I should know because I heard it. But actually, I have no idea if it's Delphi or Delphi. Delphi sounds like that's what it should sound like, but I actually have no idea. But yeah, it's connected to that, and so like we learn the history behind that because like this has like fantasy or sci-fi elements, but it's all very like rooted in like real history. So it's like a fantastical spin on like real life things. And then they like meet some other people and they learn about like a whole project where like kids are being used with like kids that have like some skills that seem to be sort of supernatural are being like used and manipulated for like this project, and it is very dangerous for the world. And then we have like another member of the team that like wakes up not knowing like anything that happened, and he's like with a group of kids and he has to like escape and try to figure out what the hell is happening with him. And obviously, like I said, it's all already starting to come together, and it will obviously come together even more, I'm sure, in the second half. But yeah, there is a lot going on, and I'm not even sure how to explain all of it. I don't think I did a good job whatsoever, but I am definitely interested. There is like these books are always set like in various places around the world and following different characters, and then like all the plot lines come together, and this one is definitely no exception. And yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. I am curious to see how it's all gonna unfold and how they're gonna save the world this time, which I am assuming they will. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't particularly love the characters. Like I like them. They're okay, they're fine, but like it's not like I would, particularly be very upset if something happened to them. Like, they're fine, but I'm more here for the plots than for the characters, I guess. But the plot I am enjoying. I am, like I said, curious to see where it goes. And yeah, I'm having a good time. I usually have a really good time with these books and with these mysteries, and I do really like the mix of like real life history things and the like with the fantasy or sci-fi elements or whatever. And there are always also some really cool action scenes, and yeah, I'm having a good time, like I said. And so I'm going to finish it, and I will be back with my final thoughts on it. Okay, so I have finished the last Oracle, and I really liked it. It was very fun. I definitely really enjoyed to see how everything came together, like all of the characters that were in like the various places around the world that they were. And it was definitely like I was stressed at some points for sure because it felt like everything was gonna go wrong. And like I was pretty sure that, at the end they were gonna, resolve the issue, but I wasn't sure if they were going to like fix like 100% of it. I wasn't sure if they were going to fix the whole thing, and I'm not going to tell you if they did or not, but it was definitely very stressful at times, like towards the end. Very, very, very stressful. And there was something that like a character mentioned about like another character, like something that might happen to them. And I'm assuming that is going to be like about future books, because I'm like intrigued and at the same time kind of like worried. Not that like I mentioned, I don't particularly, love these characters. Like they're fine, I like them, but I'm not like, very emotionally attached to them. So like it's not like if something happens to that character I'm gonna be devastated, but I'm definitely, curious to see where that is gonna lead. Because that was just a weird comment, but it got me intrigued. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun and it was, thrilling, which is what it should be. And I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars, which is great. And it is time to go into our next book, which is going to be fantasy, and it's the book that broke the world, which is the second book in the I think the trilogy is called The Library. The first book was called The Book That Wouldn't Burn, but I think the trilogy is called The Library. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, but I do own that book physically actually, so I'm going to be reading the physical book. I don't have it here with me at this, exact moment, but I do have it. And so yeah, I'm gonna read probably half of that and I will be back. Okay, so I am halfway-ish through the book that broke the world, and this is the second book in the Library trilogy, which is fantasy. And I don't even know how to talk about this book. Obviously, I'm gonna say the premise of the first book, but then like everything that's happening here has to do with like the crazy reveal that happened in the first book, so bear with me. So in the first book, we are following 2 main characters, and we have Levira and we have Ivar. And Levira, she lived like in the desert, and one day like a bunch of her people are like taken from their home, and they're taken to like a big city that's like the desert leads to basically. And they are like assigned different jobs, and she is like one of the soldiers who took her there. He takes her like to be a trainee basically like in a library of like that city. And then we have Ivar, and he is like trapped in like a huge, seemingly like unending library, and there is a, I think they call it the mechanism, in the library, like a thing that you can like walk into, and there's something like very mysterious about it that we like learn more towards the end of the first book. But you can like walk in, and then Ivar, and like his siblings, they were brought into the library, and they are like, now they have been there stuck like for many years, and they are basically like, there are two assistants of the library there, and they are the ones that like basically keep them company and sort of like raise them from when they were kids. And like there is like a huge mystery about this library, obviously, and also like the things that Lavira is learning. And there is like also, when like Lavira was in the desert, she talked about like some creatures that like sometimes attack them, and they're called the Canith, I think, something like that. And then in like Ivar's chapters, we also have him like talk about the same creature, like the same name. So there's also like that connection, and obviously like everything comes together in the end. And there is, like I said, a huge reveal. We see how all of it is connected, and it was really good. I really liked the first book, and I really liked both of the characters. And this one I'm definitely not liking as much. And in this book, we are following a new character who's called Kelcha, and she is like somewhere else. And at first I was kind of like confused what even like is her, like her connection to the rest. And like the end of the first book, like something kind of bad happened with one of the characters, and so like we're dealing with that. And then like this new character, and also like the characters that we were following before, and like we were following mainly Lavira and Ivar, but there were a lot of characters in like both of the POVs. So like there were already a lot of characters to keep track of. And now there are even more, because there's like Kelcha and like all the people around her. And like the first book, I really liked the mystery of like what the hell was happening. And I really like the characters. And in this one, I feel like I'm not connected to like, you know, there are even more characters for me to care about. So like I don't. And I'm also not like nearly as invested in the plot that is happening here. And I don't know, like the vibe just feels very different from the first book, which I am not loving. Like I'm not disliking it, but I'm definitely not like hooked like I was in the first book. Like I don't feel like I need to know what's happening. Because like I sort of know, and what I don't know, I'm not like that intrigued about. So like it's okay, it's going okay, but honestly I'm kind of bored, which is not great. And I just love the cover of this book so much. Like I wanted to love it because this has like my favorite colors. So, you know, I was like, it's so pretty that I have to love it. But obviously that is not how books work. And yeah, I'm definitely not loving it. I'm not hating it either. I'm not even like disliking it. But yeah, I'm not loving it. And I'm very sad about that. But yeah, that is my halfway update. And I'm gonna read the second half, and hopefully I get more into what's happening and more attached to everything. And yeah, I'm gonna finish it and I'll be back. Okay, so I have finished the book that broke the world, and sadly my thoughts didn't change that much, and especially like my enjoyment of the book did not increase, and I think maybe it actually decreased. And I didn't love it, sadly, and I went into it expecting to really like it, because I think I gave the first book 4 stars, and it just only wasn't higher because it was like a bit slow at times. But like I really like characters, and I really like the like mystery and the reveals and all that we learned about that world. I thought it was like crazy in a good way. And so I expected to at least feel, you know, the same about this, if not like enjoy it more. And yeah, sadly I did not. I still think that the vibe of this book was very different from the vibe of the first one. I don't know if that was really the case or if it was just like my perception of it, but yeah, I didn't love it. And I definitely, like, I feel like I was getting less and less connected to the characters that I or like loved before, and the new ones I never really got to really connect to. And the plot like was interesting, but I didn't feel like as gripped as I was in the first book. Like I wasn't, invested in it. Like it was fine, but I wasn't, dying to know more. And yeah, I think I'm giving it 3 stars, which, isn't terrible. Like I didn't hate the book or anything, but I didn't love it as I expected to, and that is quite sad. And I was expecting to, really like this book and then get the physical book for the third and last one in the series, and then, eventually get to it. But, and like in this video, I would just move on to another series. But since I didn't love this one, I will not be getting the physical book of like the next book. And again, since I didn't love this one, if I wait a long time to read the next one, I don't think I'm ever gonna read it until I'm like, with the, like I did with the previous video, just finishing it to not have like a book left of a series. So I think I'm actually gonna read it like right after this and just like get the ebook and just read it, because if I don't do it now, I might never do it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna read the next book, which I think is called The Book That Held Her Heart. I know it's pink. I'm gonna read that, and hopefully I will enjoy it more than I enjoyed this one. We'll see, but yeah, I think for now at least, this is feeling like 3 stars. I am half-ish way through the next book, which is The Book That Held Her Heart. And honestly, I'm feeling pretty much the same as I felt with the previous book. That, like, it's okay, but I'm not that invested in the plot or in the characters anymore. And, like, in this book, there was another character that I was introduced that, like, I could never have seen that specific character like coming. Never would have guessed that would be a character in this book, but they are. And yeah, like it's okay. We are learning more about the library and the war that is like behind all of it and like at the center of all of it. And we're also learning more about the book that is also at the center of the story. And like I am enjoying to learn more about that, but overall I am still just feeling okay about it. Like I'm not really caring about the characters that much. I'm not that connected to them. Like I said, the new ones, like none of them really. And even the ones that were from the first book, I cared way more about them in the first book than I do now. So yeah, like it's going okay. I'm not disliking it, but I'm also not like, loving it. I feel also like 3 stars about it, just like I did like about the previous book. And I can't really say any specifics because it would spoil like the 2 previous books. So I have to be very vague, but yeah, that's it. It's going okay. This is not a very, exciting update because I don't feel very excited about it. But yeah, at least I will finish the series, which is, the main goal of this video. So yeah, I will finish this book, read the second half, and finish the series, and I will be back. Okay, so I have finished The Book That Held Her Heart, and again, my thoughts are the same as they were before, and I feel like I will just say like the same thing for the fourth time because like the two updates for the previous book and also like the first update for this book, my thoughts were kind of the same for all of them, which is like, it was fine. I didn't dislike it, but I definitely didn't love it either. It was just okay. I was never like that invested. I was at times kind of bored, and even the characters that I loved in the first book, I wasn't as connected to them in these two other books. And I have to say that like the last maybe 80-ish pages I was more like excited about because, you know, it was the climax of the story, like things were happening. It was action packed, it was crazy. So like I was more interested in that part of the book, but overall it was just okay. And like there were so many characters to keep track of, and there were some unexpected characters which I think I mentioned in my previous update. I did not see that coming whatsoever. Yeah, it was okay. It was fine. I am like, maybe like if I hadn't loved the first book, I wouldn't be like as disappointed by the second and third books. But since I love the first book so much, I expected to at least like them all equally. And I obviously did not. But I think I like the second and the third equally-ish at least. So I think I'm giving both of them 3 stars. And yeah, not a very exciting update, I know, but at least I finished the series, which is what we are here for. So yay for that. And now I think I'm going to read From Potter's Field, I think is the title of the book, which is the 6th, maybe? I actually have no idea. But it's the next book in the Case Carpeta series, which is like a crime mystery series. And yeah, I'm going to read half of that, and I will be back with my thoughts on it, and hopefully I will enjoy it more than this one. Do I have the highest of hopes? Not really, because I don't love the characters from the series. I usually really like the plot, like the investigation, but the characters sometimes picks me off a little bit. So not the highest of hopes, but I do have some hope. And yeah, I'm gonna read half of that book and I'll be back. Okay, I am half-ish way through our last book of this video, which is called From Potter's Field, which is the 6th? I'm pretty sure the 6th book in the Case Carpeta series, which is a like crime mystery series, and we follow Case Carpeta, who is a medical examiner, and we basically just follow whatever case she's working on. And so this one is actually set around Christmas, which I didn't know going into it. I never really read the synopsis of these books because they're just, you know, a new mystery every time, and I just go into it blindly. So it is around Christmas, and we are following, as always, Kay, and there is a body that is found, and there is something about the MO of what happened to that body that seems to be very familiar. And so we are actually following a killer from a previous book that they never really caught, and so we are following this same person, and they are kind of like taunting and targeting Kay, and at the same time we are also following her niece, as we also did in the previous book. I mean, everything's like from Kay's POV, but her niece is very prevalent, very present in the story, just like she was in the previous book. And things are also like connected to like Lucy. I think her name is Lucy. Her niece is like connected to the plot of the previous book, what is happening in this one. And as usual, I am enjoying the mystery. I am not loving the characters. A couple of them are already pissing me off. One of them is like the same one that pisses me off in almost every single book. And the main character, she's sometimes like better than, like in some books she's better than in other books, but at some point she always does or says something that kind of annoys me. And in this case, it's just like, I can't say this without spoiling, I don't think, but like the connection, I guess, that she has with someone, the sort of relationship that she has with someone, I hate it. I hate everything about it. And yeah, I don't love her. I never love her, but in some books, I like her more than others. And in this one, like, she's, like, I don't hate her, but I'm not really liking her that much either. But I am interested in the case, in the investigation, and the mystery. And there have already been like some scenes that are like more thrilling as well, which I am definitely enjoying. So yeah, as usual, like, I am enjoying the plot. I am not loving the characters, which is sadly how I feel about most of the books in the series. But I am still going in the hopes that they will, get better. But yeah, it's going okay. I am enjoying it, and that is it. I feel like we started well in with the first book for this video, and then the others were okay. This one is also okay. So not my most successful video in terms of, like, enjoyment of books, I would say. But yeah, I'm not disliking it. Definitely, I'm not disliking it. It's at least 3 stars for now, depending on how it goes in the second half. Obviously, it can go higher or lower or just maintain the same. But like, I'm enjoying it. I'm just, as usual, in this series, not loving it. But I'm going to finish it, and I will be back with my final thoughts and like my final ratings on everything, and just to wrap up this video. Okay, so I have finished our last book for this video. Honestly, I feel kind of the same way about it as I did when I updated halfway through, and I definitely continue to enjoy the investigation. Although I feel like in this book there was like less focus on like all of the forensic details that I usually love in the series, but on the other hand, I feel like it was more like thrilling because the killer was like taunting and targeting like Kay specifically, and so there was like that tension there, and so I feel like it was more thrilling than usual, but there was, like I said, less focus on the forensic details that I usually love. But I still did really enjoy like all that part, but the characters definitely continue to not be my favorite. So like, I like the plot, I like the investigation, the characters, I don't love them. Like, there are definitely moments where I like them, so like I don't hate them as a whole, but I definitely don't love them either. So yeah, I feel like, I feel the same way about it as I felt with the other books that I read from the series, which is like 3.5 stars, because I like it, I enjoy it, I have overall a good time, except sometimes with some of the things that the characters say or things that the characters do. And like in this one specifically, like Kay, like the dynamic or relationship or whatever that she has like with a specific character, like I hated that. And then some of the comments that another character makes, I really don't like that either. And so yeah, it was fine, it was okay. And yeah, just like the previous books, I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. But I have hope that one day I will like these characters, and so I am gonna continue to read these books, even if I don't absolutely love them, because there are parts of it that I do really like, and but there are others that I don't. So yeah, there is that. But we have reached the end of the video, like I said, and so to just give you my final ratings for everything. So the last Oracle I gave 4 stars, then the book that broke the world and the book that held her heart I gave 3 stars, and now from Pottersfield I gave 3.5 stars. So not my most successful video in terms of book ratings, like my enjoyment of books, but I did finish one series and I made progress in other two. So, that being the main goal of this video and this video series was still definitely successful. And I didn't like dislike any of the books. I just didn't, love most of them. But I did achieve the goals of continuing and finishing series, so I am happy with that. And I think that is everything for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!